I need a moment of silence. Okay, I got this. I have been stalling this book review for, let's see here, I don't know, 2 weeks? I don't really have an excuse other than the fact that this book absolutely killed me. It murdered me. It just took a knife and stabbed it right into my heart and my soul. Yeah, it just right there, right in all the feels. Here I am now, perfectly fine 2 weeks later. Now that I have, you know, pulled myself together, it's time to talk about this book. I thought that my incredibly extreme reaction to this book would have died down by now, but honestly, don't think it's gonna happen, like, ever. That's okay, because maybe it's better to, you know, just lay it all out there. I believe it is the best book I've read in 2017 so far. Keep in mind that it hasn't been very long in the year yet, so this might not end up being the best book of 2017 so far, but so far it is, and that's a big deal, okay? You know, I don't know what it was about this book that just made me love it so much. I think it just comes down to the fact that this book swept me away, as your favorite fairy tale would do. This book just has a way of very slowly but surely luring you in as a reader, and before you know it, you're just completely caught up in all of the twists and turns and just mind-boggling angles that this book takes. So I feel like usually as a reader, you might have a bit more of an idea of maybe what's going on or what's coming ahead in a book than the protagonist does, but in this book, I love that the author kind of creates this effect where the reader and the protagonist are really in the same exact boat when it comes to the unpredictability of what is going to happen, and you really just don't know. Unless maybe you are a genius and you just catch on to everything effortlessly, then yeah. The thing about this book is that it doesn't really have like one giant plot twist. It does, but what's crazy about this book is it more so has a lot of giant plot twists. Like, think 10, and they just kind of, you know, bulldoze at you, just one after the other, like boom, 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 and your head is going to explode because you just can't comprehend like what is going on. And you should have seen me while I was reading this book. My arms were like flailing around. I couldn't keep my mouth shut. You know that a book really has got me when I start talking to myself, and actually worse, talking to the book. I was seriously yelling at this book, like, what? I didn't know that was gonna happen. How could you? That was me, and it's incredibly embarrassing, I know, just let's forget that that even happened. I'm going to break it down by categories so I can kind of explain different elements of this book to you guys. Caraval is a fantasy, and it follows two sisters, Scarlet and Tella, and their entire lives, these two sisters have had this dream of going to this annual event known as Caraval. Caraval is sort of what it sounds like. It is a carnival of sorts. It is a faraway, once-a-year performance that only select individuals are invited to attend. And what makes Caraval unique and exciting is that this is not just a regular performance where the audience sits and watches everything. Caraval is all about the audience participating in the show themselves. The audience's role is to kind of solve this mystery that has been put together, this incredibly complex puzzle, and whoever wins is granted a wish, any wish that they desire, by Caraval's master Legend. And yes, the master is actually known by the name Legend. The only complication is that Scarlet and Tella live with their very abusive and evil father, who does not let them attend Caraval. However, Scarlet and Tella meet a sailor who helps secretly whisk them away. They are able to attend Caraval. But here is where the story gets crazy. Really crazy, you guys, really crazy. So this year's theme of Caraval actually ends up revolving around Scarlet and Tella themselves. As soon as Scarlet and Tella show up at Caraval, guess who mysteriously disappears? Tella. The theme, or the puzzle for Caraval this year, is to find Tella. Whoever finds Tella first wins. Scarlet is incredibly concerned for her sister and doesn't trust the rules of this game. Her goal is to just find her sister and get them off of this strange island. One reminder that the people at Caraval tell every member of the audience is, remember not to let yourself get swept away by Caraval. Everything that occurs to you in Caraval is not real. Make sure you don't forget the line between what is real and what is not. That's easier said than done, especially when Scarlet ends up running into very dangerous and very realistic situations. This book is so exhilarating. You feel like you are kind of navigating this incredibly complex and kind of creepy puzzle alongside Scarlet. I've said this before and I will say this again, that Caraval to me reminds me so much of Alice in Wonderland, and I don't know if Stephanie Garber did this on purpose. I'd be really curious to find out. I loved it. I think that's one of the things that I loved most about this book, was that just the setting of this book reminded me so much of Wonderland. It has the same kind of atmosphere of everything being backwards and things not making sense, and even the way that things are described, the depiction of how the buildings look and all the different colors and the characters, like how the characters portray themselves. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like that feeling of everything being backwards and nothing really working out the way you want it to, and kind of finding yourself going down one rabbit hole after another. Nothing makes sense. It has that very same sort of uncanny but really intriguing atmosphere that Wonderland has. I have a very interesting analogy for describing this book, and it came from one of the blurbs that the authors wrote. Oh, Rashani Chokshi, who is a fabulous author. All of the authors that wrote blurbs for this book actually are amazing. She just said, decadent. And I thought that the word decadent was such a flawless way to describe this book. And it's hard to kind of understand unless you read this book. But when I think of this book, I think of like this decadent layered cake. I imagine this very tall, decadent layered cake of all different colors, like the rainbow. And every layer is just like more and more decadent and thicker. And you just find like new colors and new layers and new flavors. And it's like, this isn't making any sense. But even like the style of the writing, you want to like soak it all in, like you want to just like eat it up. This is getting weird. This is not making any sense. It's like a cake, you guys. This book is like a cake, okay? Trust me, it is. Scarlet was such a fabulous main character. I absolutely adored her. She's just a sweetheart. She's very kind of naive and innocent, but I found that to be really endearing. It's really, really fascinating to watch her go on this journey through Caraval, this place that she has spent her entire childhood dreaming of, and she's kind of battling between this part of her that wants to be young and just lose herself in this world that is so easy to get lost in, and the other part that is trying to be this responsible older sister taking after her sister. That's the kind of effect that this world has on the characters and the reader. It's so easy to get lost and swept away in everything because it's deceiving. It is just deliciously deceiving. You think you understand it. Every time you think you figured it out, you're proven wrong. As for the other characters in this book, we have Tella, which we don't really see that much of her, although I may be wrong, but I heard that the sequel of this book is going to actually revolve around Tella. And then we have Julian, our sailor. Not gonna say much about him. He's a complicated character, let's just say that. I just loved how complex his character was. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't really want to give too much away about Julian, so you guys should just read the book. What I like about the romance in this book is it is very much present and very much exciting, but is also definitely still an underlying theme. Like, it doesn't take over the rest of this book. So you have pretty good even proportions of romance, action, suspense, all of that. The romance, though, was really, really enjoyable. Probably one of my favorite parts about this book. Not gonna lie, it had me tearing up at some points. I cry at like every single fictional romance. So on the front cover it says, remember, it's only a game. And that's what they always say, which is what I was explaining before. They always try to remind you it is only a game. But it's really confusing, you guys, because as you're reading this book, you're like, is it a game? That didn't feel like a game. That was real. Those are the kind of books where you just want to keep flipping the pages and you never get bored because you have no idea what the heck is going on. You just keep getting confused until you finish the book and then you're crying. As for the master of Caraval, Legend, I'm not going to say anything about him, so don't even ask me. My lips are sealed. You guys need to read it. Read this book. Look in my eyes. I'm hypnotizing you. You want to read this book. Oh, it's terrible. Please forget that I ever did that. Just keep in mind that this is also the kind of book that you find yourself loving more and more as you get deeper into it. When I first began this book, I was like, oh, this is pretty good, like, okay. But then I was getting deeper and I was like, oh, oh. Every time you think this book is going to slow down, it just gets faster and more exciting. So yes, I think that is going to be it for today. What I would love for you guys to do is, if you have read this book, go ahead and comment down below. We can get a discussion started on it, but make sure that if you have any spoilers, just put a big spoiler alert before you write anything so that we don't spoil it for anybody else. I'm so glad that I took people's advice and picked it up, because honestly, I wasn't even going to. So thank you to anybody who recommended it to me. You know me very well. This book was just everything I love. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's review. I hope that you go and buy this book. Let me know if you do plan on getting it. It will make me super excited. Yeah, if you enjoyed today's video, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. I hope that you'll go and have yourselves a fabulous day, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!